Good evening, and welcome to another segment of Larry's Law. My name is Larry Carter, and I'll be sitting in for Larry Lawton. Today, we have a very special program for you. I'm sad to say that this program involved a tragedy that happened on June 19th at approximately 11:15 a.m. in the city of Palm Bay. A young black man was killed by an off-duty deputy sheriff in the city of Palm Bay. Although the report has not been released yet, we don't know entirely what happened, but what we do know that a family has been devastated, a community has been devastated, and we have an officer that has been arrested for second-degree murder. I have two very special guests with me today. I have Mr. Robert Johnson, who's a community activist in the South End of Melbourne. He's the past president of the NAACP, and I have a relative of the victim, the young man that was killed, Sara King. She's here with me. First, I'd like to say I'm sorry for your loss, and I know it's hard, and thank you for being here. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is something that's played out all over the country, and I have to say, being a retired law enforcement officer with 31 years of experience here in Brevard County, I never thought I'd see this day come, but it has.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to address some of the issues. I had some initial problems with this. My initial problem was the chief law enforcement officer, the sheriff, within 30 minutes of this incident, stated that this looked like a self-defense situation.
Right.
That didn't sit very well with me before we even knew what happened. Mr. Johnson, let me start with you. What's your role, and how did you get involved with this?
Well, I am extremely concerned. I'm the chairperson of the Southern Crescent Leadership Conference, SCLC, which is an organization that Dr. Martin Luther King founded. I noticed that there was some serious injustice that were taking place by the officer leaving the scene after he just shot a guy down and left him without giving medical attention, without calling 911, immediately calling 911. So of course, there were some red flags, and I was seriously concerned about the family. I know that they were grieving, and I knew that I needed to, at least be at their side, because I've been this way. I walked this road, and I know the challenge ahead of them, and I just want to come in and pretty much usher them and escort them along their way.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Some of the issues that I had and some other people had was, first of all, after the shooting took place, the officer did not render aid. Okay, right. He left him there. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, he left the scene and left the scene there. And number three, he didn't secure that scene. All right, those are basic things that any law enforcement officer would do. I mean, the first thing is to render aid. Mm-hmm. Okay, there may or may not have been something that he could have done, but at least that was part of his responsibility. Ms. King, tell us, how has this affected you and your family at this point?
At this point in time, it's like there's like a hole. There's like a missing piece in our lives. And for me, sometimes I have my good days. Today was not a good day.
Okay.
I felt like somebody just took something and just punched me in the face.
How did you first find out about it?
Well, I was at church, and I got a call on my phone. So I get up and I go to the back, and I got a phone call, and then I got a text from my sister saying Mahogany had been shot, and she was on her way to the hospital. I immediately went to Holmes Regional Hospital emergency room and sat there with the family. Okay. And it was just, I was just like lost for words. It's just like, this is not real.
Okay. At this point, I know you have Mr. Johnson that's supporting you and the family. Have you been contacted by anybody from the sheriff's office or any law enforcement agencies?
Currently, no one has reached out to us from the sheriff department.
So you haven't had anyone from the sheriff's office give you a call?
No, sir, not at all.
Okay, all right. How do you feel about that?
Well, with me, as far as the family, speaking for the family, our expectation would have been at least to at least give us their condolences, saying that, you know, you've lost a child, you've lost a loved one. And we as an elected official, we're concerned about this. And we did not get any calls from the sheriff department.
I have to say, before coming here, I spoke with 4 police chiefs, and I asked, you know, in this particular incident, would it have been prudent for a chief or some representative of the agency to contact the family, although they couldn't talk about the investigation, but to contact the family and show some humanity,
Right.
that they for your loss? And they said absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm surprised that we haven't heard from our sheriff's office in this incident. Mr. Johnson, I know you had a vigil. You held a vigil last Sunday, I believe it was. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Sonia, we pretty much called the community together. I contacted clergy people and Clarence's mother. You know, this is something that she wanted. She wanted to do that, to make her feel better. And a lot of people came out and they pretty much, you know, come together. I mean, it was a very diverse crowd. And that's what we really wanted. We wanted a diverse crowd and let folk know that you know, it's not about race. It's pretty much about grace. We're not complaining about the police officers. We're just complaining about, you know, we lost a loved one. And the guy shouldn't have died. And the worst thing about it, not only did we lose someone, but that's hurting, but the reaction of the sheriff department, not even a courtesy call.
You say, you know, being a police officer for 31 years, obviously I've known a lot of policemen, and I can tell you the vast majority of police officers out there today are good, hard-working, decent, God-fearing people. They try to do a decent job.
Yes.
And we are not, I want to make it clear, we're not against the police, okay? We are against bad policemen.
Right.
And in this case, we had a bad policeman, or he would not have been charged with second-degree murder. So I just want to, you know, make sure the audience understand that we need the police, and we know that the vast majority of police officers are good police officers, but we see a pattern throughout the country that I never thought that we'd be bringing here and having this conversation here in Brevard County.
Right.
And so I don't want this to taint all police officers. Where do we go from here? What do you think we're going to go from here, Mr. Johnson?
Well, I would like for us to create more unity. You know, folk will come together on one accord. And I would like we get back to the basics where our churches will continue to do the duties of the church. Our leaders who are, you know, special interest leaders who have position to represent the community. You know, we need folk to step up.
I was really concerned because I didn't see, as you say, folks step up. I didn't see our community leaders step up and get concerned. I know I spoke with several people in the community and I asked who's supporting this family. And as I understood, Mr. Robert Johnson is supporting the family and not very much more. How do you feel about that, Ms. King? I mean, would you have expected more of a community involvement in this situation?
I would have expected a more community involvement. And the reason being is that being a long-time resident of the Melbourne Palm Bay area, the expectation would be so much greater because we're well known in the neighborhood. Even for Clarence, his grandparents, great-grandparents, well known, you know, veterans of the neighborhood. So it was very disappointing. You know, what happens? What if? What if it was you?
Absolutely. I've got 3 grown sons of myself, and this could have happened to anybody. Tell us a little bit about Clarence. I mean, let's put a face on this young man. Tell us something about him.
Well, you know, the most important thing that I would like for people to know, he always had a smile on his face. When he was down, he was still smiling. If he's up, he was smiling. And as a youth, he played the drums at Triumph Church.
Okay.
So he grew up in Triumph Church. And as I said, and I think about him, he still had that baby face. He had that baby face, and he loved his kids. He has 3 babies that he left here. He has a 7-month-old
Oh, wow.
that will never get a chance to know who his father is. A 7-month-old. He will never get the opportunity to see him walk. His first tooth. And me, as being an aunt, I mean, it's just like we had an opportunity to have a heart-to-heart talk. And I thank God that I had the opportunity to impart something to him. And it's really something when you're the aunt and you're the strict aunt, you're the mean aunt. But you know, as he grew up, he told me, he said, you know what? He said, you was hard, you was mean, and you was strict. He said, but now I know that now that I've grown up, I know that you meant it for the best. You know, you just wanted me to be, you know, have the best. You wanted me to be good, and that's why you pushed me. He said, you did it. Didn't realize it at the time when I was young, but you did it in love.
How's the mother doing?
She has a bad days and she has a good days.
Okay.
You know, just the outburst and everything. And on that day when they told her, I wasn't in the room because just limited as far as who could go in the room. That scream of a mother.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot relate to that because I have not lost a child. But just the scream in her voice. I mean, that's something that will stick with me the rest of my life. The loss of a child. No mother expects to bury a child.
That's right.
This is her only son. She has 2 other kids, but her only son. He was the middle child. And the mothers, with that son, because I have a son, it's a special bond.
When I was asked to do this show tonight, I was driving up and I was thinking, just what are we going to talk about? And I decided that instead of having structured questions, that we just have a conversation with you, as I told you before, because this is about a young man that was 24 years old. Was it 24?
25.
25 years old, okay, that lost his life on Father's Day.
Yes.
With 3 children. Okay, and this is about a family that's hurting. This is about a community that may or may not come together. But with prayer, and we are praying for you. And I want to say something else. We should also pray for the family of that police officer because they have to be hurting. They're also victims in this because now they've lost their loved one.
Amen.
So to say. So we have to pray for that police officer's family, and we have to pray for all good police officers.
Yes.
Because the majority of them are good. Now, has there been funeral arrangements made?
Yes, funeral arrangements has been made for Saturday, July 2nd. At the viewing will be 10 o'clock, and the funeral will be at 11 at Macedonia.
That's Macedonia Baptist
Yes.
Church.
in Melbourne.
In Melbourne, yes.
On Lipscomb Street.
On Lipscomb Street in Melbourne. Hopefully people will have a community turn out. How do you feel about the sheriff's office? That's a pointed question, I know, but you know we're being honest here. How do you feel?
I feel that there was some like a miscommunication, and just the comment that Sheriff Ivy made, that was a prejudgment, because our family is just waiting to see what the facts are, which we don't know anything as of yet.
So you're waiting.
So it's just like we were really disappointed in the comment. The comment is most of all that really, you know, made us think, what are you thinking about? You're already judging when you don't even know the facts.
Okay. A lot of people have asked me that same question. Why did he make that statement? And only he can answer that. But Mr. Johnson, you were out of town when this happened.
Well, I was out of town when I was called to do the visual I was in Tampa
Okay.
with family. And a friend of mine, when I was the president of NAACP, he was my vice president.
Okay.
So he called me and told me that the mother, Miss Pearl, misplaced my number. She was trying to contact me. And she mentioned about she wanted to have a visual and no one around that when they help her do the visual. So I told my family, I gotta go. You know, I need to get over and help Miss Pearl. I have to be there.
Okay.
This is my purpose. But the thing that hurt me the most is the way the family has been treated. Now, the police chief called me this morning. I don't want to put him out. I don't know. There's a lot of things taking place.
Was it a local police chief?
Yeah, local police chief.
Okay.
He called and informed me
Okay.
that it was a second degree murder charge.
Okay. Okay.
I called Miss Pearl, which is Clarence's mother, and that's how the news was broken. Now, if I were the sheriff, I would personally go out, or send one of my deputies out. Because if I wouldn't have told them, they probably would have heard it over the news.
Right. Right.
Or on Facebook.
Okay. So you had a local police chief personally call you.
Called and woke me up.
Woke you up this morning,
Right.
and told you. And at some point, we need to thank that police chief.
Oh, I am.
I mean,
I know.
And it's
Right.
and I don't think it would be inappropriate to call his name because he showed that there's a human side to him.
Very compassionate.
And I'm hoping that it was my police chief in my city where I live in Palm Bay. I'm hoping it would be that chief.
That's the appropriate. That's the correct city.
But okay,
Yeah.
so that's good to hear.
Yeah.
But that has been the only law enforcement person that has contacted you about this incident. Now, the arrest was just made today. The report is not out. I don't know if any in the press have the report or anything. But what do you want to see in that report, or what do you not want to see in that report?
I would want to see the truth.
The truth. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, no changes. I mean, just the bare fact, truth.
Okay.
Because we need truth. We don't have any answers. Nobody's talking to us, so we have nothing.
And you know the little bit that we do know, and we ask why.
Yes.
I mean, the bottom line is why. Why was deadly force used? I mean, why did this have to happen? And only the report, hopefully,
Yes.
will give us all those facts. Anything else you'd like for us to know about the family, about your nephew? How are we going to deal with these kids now? How are we going to with these babies?
I know that's tough.
Well, I would think that we're going to have some support from the community. I don't know if there's anything I can do, you know, and my church can do. You know, please call me and let me know you have my numbers.
Okay.
But I think you said earlier, Mr. Johnson, we can't let this die. We've got to keep this going on because we need to know what happened, and then we need to see this through. We have an arrest now. We know there's going to be a trial, and then so the family is going to have to go through that, unfortunately.
Yes.
And that's not going to be an easy thing. I pray that you guys do well. You've got plenty of support here. You have support from me. I know you have others, and I've talked to 10, 15 police officers since this incident happened, and they're all praying for you. We do have some praying police officers out there, believe it or not.
Yeah, we do.
And so this is something that we're going to keep going. Facebook, I know, is out there.
Right.
We're going to stay in contact with the family. And if there's anything that you need, Mr. Johnson, Ms. King, anything you need, let me know. We can get it for you. And we're going to just keep praying, and everything's going to be all right. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we leave?
I would just like to say that the family would like to have, first of all, answers.
Okay.
The family would like to see justice.
Okay.
Because
And-
there's a hole that it cannot be filled.
Okay. For those of you who just joining us, we were having a conversation with Mr. Robert Johnson, who's a community activist, and Ms. Sara King, who's the aunt of a young man who was killed tragically on Father's Day at about 11:15 in the city of Melbourne. Ms. Johnson, you were telling me about an incident that happened at the hospital. I think the public needs to know exactly what the family went through at the emergency room.
Well, one part of it was very puzzling. The nurse that was on duty, she came out and she shared with the family, oh, he's talking, and he's talking to the police officer.
Okay, wait, hold on. The deceased,
Yes.
your nephew,
Yes.
who was shot and killed,
Yes.
the hospital people came out and told you that he's up and talking.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to get that clear. All right.
Right. So that was puzzling because, of course, that's giving us hope. Okay, he's fine. He's fine. And then later on, they come and they had my sister and the girlfriend to go into the chaplain's room, and that's when I heard the scream
Okay.
that he was deceased.
To scream that he was deceased.
Yes.
All right. Now, I understand that he has 3 young children,
Yes.
and you have set up a GoFundMe account.
Yes.
And that account is in the name of Clarence Mahogany Howard.
Yes.
Okay. What was the ages again of those babies he left behind?
5, 1, and 7 months.
5, 1, and 7 months.
Yes.
Okay, so if if the public reach out to the public, the Clarence Mahogany Howard GoFund, and let's see if we can help this family and help these kids. Now, this has all happened, I guess, 8 days ago,
Yes.
and so and a lot has happened, and a lot hasn't happened. We know now that the police officer has been arrested. We know now that pretty soon you'll be getting a copy of that report. And we talked a little bit about that report. But I want you to know that we're praying for you. We're praying for the family. And if there's anything you need, I hope you can reach out to the community. You know, you have Mr. Robert Johnson here, who's been a very big help with the family.
Yes.
And he can reach out to me, and if there's anything that we need, we can let the community know, and we can try and move forward, because this is not the end. Now the family has got to go through a trial, and that's going to be, that can be devastating to hear all those facts come out. If there's a trial, we don't know, but we know that we're going to continue to keep this out there. People need to be informed of what's going on with our sheriff's office and in law enforcement period. And so we're going to keep you in our prayers. And thank you again for taking the time to come out. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for making sure that the family is going to be okay. And we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Larry.